Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jennifer here, and today what I'm going to bring you through are some very basic and very soothing stretches for low back pain. So like with any video, even though these are gentle stretches and fit for anyone, if you're in active or acute pain, there may be some that would bother you. And if you're going through one of these stretches and you feel pain, you need to just stop and wait for the next exercise to start. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to have you start on all fours. So we're going to have our knees about hip width apart and our hands under our shoulders. And we're just going to start with a cat stretch by rounding the back. And you're going to feel your pelvis. You want to pull your pelvis towards your elbows. And that's going to help you round your lumbar spine. And then I want you to push through your palms and lift your mid-back and pull your shoulder blades apart. And then you're going to feel that stretch there. So let's just do that. We're going to hold for a few seconds and then we're going to release. So let's release and exhale. And breathe in and lift again. Pull the pelvis towards your elbows. Press your palms into the ground. And feel a nice gentle rounding and stretching of your spine. Deep breath in. And release and relax. And we're going to do that again. Lift, pull that belly in, press through the palms. Now this time I'm going to have you rock back. You're going to feel that stretch change a little bit. And we're going to rock forward and release it. And lift up and round. And rock back, and forward, release, round up, push through the palms, belly in, and rock back. Good. Let's go back up. Let's cross your ankles in the back and widen your knees just a little bit. Now we're going to combine that cat stretch with a child's pose. So we're going to lift up and rock back into child's pose. Good. Keep your arms outstretched. Drop your head to the mat. Good. Another breath here. Good, let's come back up. And we're gonna round that back again. It's a great way to warm up the spine. And back into child's pose. Arms outstretched, forehead to mat. Let's do a couple nice deep breaths here. Just relax into the stretch. Gravity will do the work for you. You just want your arms out. And your hips resting back on your heels. Good, we're going to pull it back up. We're going to round that back, and this time we're going to go back, rock back, but we're going to rock and go back towards the left side and bring both of your hands over to the right. So you're going to feel a stretch along the left lower pelvis along the side. This feels so good. Just go back until you feel that stretch. You don't have to rock all the way down to your heels. You know, some of you may just get to here and you'll feel plenty of stretch. So we're rocking our hips to the left and our hands are over to the right edge of our mat. One more deep breath here, and out, and let's come up, and we're going to switch sides. So we're going to bring our hands to the left edge of the mat, and we're going to round that back, and rock the hips back towards the right. I feel this all the way along my rib cage. It feels great. Just go as deep or as low as you have to feel that stretch, no further. couple more deep breaths here. Good. Let's bring that back up. Very nice. We're going to go onto our seat. We're going to stretch our glutes. Very important part of the whole lower back and hip function. If you have tight glutes, they're going to constantly be pulling on that pelvis, making it very hard to get relief. So let's take our right leg, cross it over the left knee. You're resting on your elbows, so your lower back is fairly relaxed. Now try to pull your belly in when you do this. Even though we're focusing on the glutes, I want you to keep your core engaged. So we're going to lift with the left leg and pull back. And you should be feeling a nice gentle stretch on your glutes of your right hip. Okay? So let's hold it here. Give it a moment. Again, if this is painful, don't do it. You can go back into child's pose. You can just sit and wait for the next stretch or repeat the stretches we did at the beginning. Now, if you feel this loosen or give way a little bit, let's pull it back just a hair further. Good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 repetitions of just releasing that glute, tapping your toe, bringing it back, tap 2, bring it back, 2 more, tap 3, good, pull it back, last one, and pull back. Good. Let's unwind the right leg and we're going to switch. Same thing on the other side. We're going to bring our left leg over and try to press that knee away from you a little bit. Lift the right leg up, pull it back until you feel a nice stretch on your left glute. And we're just going to hold it here. Keep your belly pulled in, keep your core engaged, even though we're laying down. Good. Let's do a couple deep breaths here, then we're going to pull back a little bit more. See if you have a little more stretch in you before we do our repetitions. So again, gently pull in a little bit more. Now, if the furthest you can get is right here before you feel that glute stretch, that's fine. Couple more deep breaths and we'll do the 4 repetitions. Keep that tug on the glute. Good. Now let's tap and pull back. 1, tap, 2, tap, 3, tap, and 4. Good. Now let's put both feet onto the ground and we're going to lower all the way down. Good. So you can keep your left leg bent or you can straighten it, whichever is more comfortable for you. Let's start with it bent, because that's the safest way. And we're going to grab our knee and just pull in. And again, we're going to pull that belly button down towards the spine or down towards the floor to keep that engaged. Now, if you feel like you're not getting a stretch here, or you want to straighten your leg, you can bring that leg down. Good, we're going to do a couple breaths here. And then we're going to grab our foot and open up the hip a little bit more in the same position. Good, so let's switch our hands to the bottoms of our feet. And you're going to take this hand and go under your leg. Okay, so your knee is on the outside, your arm is hooked under your leg, and we're going to gently use your hands to pull that knee back. Okay, this is a good hip opener. Again, very important for general low back pain and muscle health around the pelvis and the hips. Do this gently, just pull it back until you feel a gentle stretch and no more. Good, let's release that leg. And now we're gonna put our one arm out to the side. It's my right arm in the T position. And we're gonna draw that knee across and over your body to come to rest on the other side. Completely different area we're stretching. You should feel a nice turn in your lumbar spine. And we're stretching more of the posterior pelvis and the lower lumbars with this one. Again, you don't have to push it. Just let gravity pull down on your knee. This is one of my favorites. This feels so good. Beckham's gonna do a down dog. Couple more seconds here, then we're gonna switch legs. Remember to pull that belly back. Good, let's pull that knee in. You have to go over here. Lie down. So we're gonna drop the right knee down, right foot down, and we're gonna pull the opposite knee up. I'm gonna start here, and then we'll extend that leg if you can. So we're pulling the belly in and just feeling a gentle stretch on the back of our hips. And if you feel you can, let's extend that leg down. Good. Once you do this, you're gonna feel a little stretch in your hip flexor, which is good. I'm hoping everybody can get to this position. And again, you're not pulling much on this knee. We're just more getting into the position and allowing the muscles to stretch. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Good. And now we're gonna reach under, grab the bottom of your foot. So again, our knee is on the outside, grabbing the bottom of the foot. Let's flex that foot, and we're gonna pull the knee back a little bit more. It's gonna give you a little more of an intense stretch on the inner thigh, groin. Good, just go to the point where you feel the stretch, no more. And if you want, you can kind of tip the knee towards your left, angle it a little bit more. And I feel that a little deeper in the posterior part of my hip as well as my groin. So just play with the positioning a little bit. All right, let's relax that knee. And now we're gonna put our left arm out to the side in T position. And we're gonna draw this knee across and come to rest wherever that end range is for you. Again, don't push it, don't force your knee down. Just get to the point where you feel that nice stretching turn in your lumbars. Not right now, buddy. Gotta come over here. Sit down. 2 more deep breaths here. Good boy. Good. So let's pull both knees, unwind first. So we're gonna pull both knees up to the chest. And I'd like you to lift your torso, grab those knees. Good. Now open back up into T position. Now we're gonna drop both knees. Let's get our hips to a 90 and our knees to a 90 and slowly lower the legs to the side. Now, if you can't go this low, if you're in too much pain or you're too tight, grab a pillow and rest your knees on the pillow, okay? That's a nice modification. If you can, go all the way down to the floor, and we're just gonna rest it here. Good, let's pull the legs up and over to the other side. Keep them at a 90. Good, gently lower onto your pillow or onto the floor. And we're gonna feel the stretch along the right side now. Good. deep breaths here. I want to do one more repetition to each side. Good, lift and drop down. Her little pop there. Something's starting to loosen up. Let's hold it. Good, 2 more breaths here. And lift the knees up and over. Crunch, crunch. If you're me, good, come to rest on your pillow or on the floor. All right, we have one last stretch I want to do for your hip flexors. So let's roll up. We'll go on to hands and knees again. I want you to bring your right knee forward. So our knee is right over the heel. You don't want the knee like that, because that's going to put that shear stress on your knee that you don't want. You don't want to go from back pain to knee pain. So let's get that knee in a good position. Our back leg is angled out. Our foot is flat. So let's just start here, okay? And we're gonna work our way up if you can. You don't have to. Good. Now you should be feeling the stretch along the front of the hips. We've done a lot with the glutes. We've done a lot with the lower back. We have to get a little bit on our hip flexors too. Now if you don't feel this, or if you want to progress a little bit, we're going to move our hands to our knees. It's going to be a little more difficult, and if this hurts your back, just stay where you were, okay? But we want to keep our hips facing forward. So if you can envision your 2 hip bones facing forward, and I want you to press into that stretch. And you're going to feel that intensify along that hip flexor. So let's just give that a few minutes to stretch. Keep that belly in. Good, now we're going to release that hip flexor. Put your fingers down. We're going to push back with that front knee. Let that hip flexor release. And now we've got a little stretch on our hamstrings. If you need more, you can fold over, tap your forehead to your shin and hold it here. Good, let's bend that knee again. Hip flexor, press forward, whichever position you found comfortable. And back. Release that hip flexor. We're onto your hamstring. Forehead tap down if you can. If you need to maintain this position, that's perfectly fine. Good. Let's come back up. We're going to switch legs. Bring that front leg back. Bring the opposite leg forward. Check your knee position. Get that back leg opened up, foot flat. Let's get our hips facing forward. And we're going to hold it here. Good. You should be feeling this right on the front of your hip, kind of from that hip bone down. He's not giving up. He's going to plop that toy until I throw it for him. Okay, let's go into our second position if you can, up onto the knee. Hips are still facing forward, and you want to press into that stretch a little bit to intensify that hip flexor. Again, keep your belly in. Breathe. Good. One more breath, and we're going to pull that back. Release the flexor. fingers down, and feel this hamstring. Go down as low as you comfortably can. You may not be able to go down at all, and that's fine. Get to where you're comfortable and you have a nice stretch on your hamstring. Good, let's push back up. Bend that front knee back into the hip flexor stretch. Stay in whichever position you feel the stretch best and most comfortably. Couple breaths here. Again, if you feel any kind of pain, this is a little more strenuous. If this does not feel good to you, then just stop. Stop the stretch and go back into one that we've done that's more comfortable. Okay, let's straighten that front knee, release that hip flexor, fingers to the floor, and go down to whatever level you feel comfortable at for your hamstring stretch. Two more breaths. Good. Let's release out of that. Push up with your hands. Pull that front knee back. Have a seat. And you're all done with your stretches for today. I recommend that if you are having back pain, that you do these stretches at least 4 to 5 times a week. You're going to feel great if you do. Have a great day, you guys.